Tonight on NewsVision, we'll show you how the University of Miami is leading research on type 1 diabetes.
This is something that we work on because it is a full cure for type 1 diabetes, potentially.
Plus, we'll bring you the latest on the protests on college campuses across the country.
We're standing here today because we're inspired by the students at Columbia, who we consider to be the heart of the student movement.
And later on, we'll tell you how UM is bidding farewell to one iconic structure on campus.
So tonight we're celebrating 55 years of Stanford.
These stories and a whole lot more on the program tonight. NewsVision starts right now. Good evening and welcome to this week's special hour-long edition of NewsVision. I'm Ben Freeman.
And I'm Gracie Palmer. Thank you for joining us.
There is now hope for those living with an incurable disease, and it's all thanks to a research center right here at the University of Miami. Charlotte Snoonian has the story.
Diabetes is a disease that results in dangerous levels of sugar in the blood. It affects 38 million Americans, and type 1 diabetes affects the lives of about 1.6 million people in the U.S. Type 1 happens as an autoimmune attack on the cells in your body that produce insulin, and some people have genes that make them more likely to develop the disease. Insulin is a hormone that's needed to help blood sugar enter the body's cells to be used as energy. Type 1 diabetes means the body no longer produces insulin to keep the body's blood glucose levels in range. If not treated, constant high blood glucose levels can cause severe damage to the body, including kidney failure, sight problems or blindness, stroke, heart disease, and nerve damage. Type 1 diabetics need to take insulin manually every day and every time they eat in order to manage their blood glucose levels. Living with this disease affects every decision people make about exercise, food, and so much more.
This is a disease that, we can manage type 1 diabetes, but it really changes the life of the people.
But the Diabetes Research Institute at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine is at the forefront of groundbreaking research for type 1 diabetes and is giving a sense of hope to the over 1 million Americans living with the disease.
This is something that we work on because it is a full cure for type 1 diabetes, potentially, rather than a management strategy where patients currently need to manage their own blood glucose all the time by injecting themselves with insulin.
According to the CDC, cases of type 1 diabetes have risen by 30% between 2017 and 2020 with no confirmed cause. Researchers at the Diabetes Research Institute are experimenting in different ways with islet cell transplantation, which are the cells that produce insulin. They often use rats to test this islet transplantation and to see the potential effects different methods have.
We also do some with the cells here, so we form our own clusters and test different ways that they're able to, for example, mitigate glucose levels and things like that.
Researchers say they are excited about their work and continue their studies in the hope that it will help patients change their lives.
The research is very exciting, and this can only lead to good things with regards to addressing the problem.
For UMTV, I'm Charlotte Snoonian.
And here on campus, some students show culture and creative abilities on stage rather than in a kitchen. Daryl Barnes is live inside the Jerry Herman Ring Theater. Daryl, tell us what's happening there.
Guys, I am here at the Ring Theater where these seats behind me are going to start filling up with students at around 7:30, and that's because they're coming here to see this. Welcome to the set of Urinetown the Musical. Now, yes, the name sounds a little bit funny, and it's because it's a satirical comedy show. It's all about the chaos that would ensue in a world where big corporations control the water. Now, this set is going to be where all the action takes place tonight. We are going to have a modular kind of rotating office scene over there. Someone's going to get thrown off these buildings into the foam pit behind the stage over here. But that's all going on tonight. 8 o'clock is the first showing, completely for free for students tonight. Also, if you can't make it out tonight, don't fret. There's 2 more shows. There's one tomorrow and Saturday at 8 p.m. But that's all going on here this weekend. Reporting live for UMTV for one last time, Daryl Barnes, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Daryl. Everyone knows the power of a good meal. It can completely change someone's mood. But as Maddie Bosalik explains, one South Florida chef shows us how it can also change someone's life.
From the Food Network to the Ritz-Carlton in Miami, Christian Velez has shared his talents with many, and now he's taking his skills and giving back to the community. Although it may not seem like it, Chef Velez is no stranger to the camera. He is a decorated pastry chef that competed on a baking show in March of 2023.
I was a participant in the Spring Baking Championship Season 9, and it also was a great opportunity for me to talk about what we're doing here in ARC.
ARC Broward is a program located in Sunrise, Florida, that's mission is to transform the community by providing opportunities for people with disabilities and other life challenges to realize their full potential. One way ARC helps to do this is by hosting several vocational programs where participants can get certified in skills including material handling, animal care, and cooking. Thanks to Chef Christian and other staff members at ARC Culinary, this group of students get to learn everything from food safety to how to make focaccia. Chef Christian first came to ARC Broward about 2 years ago as a guest chef at one of their presentations, and it didn't take long for him to realize it's where he belongs.
And I came to volunteer, and then I came back again. I ended up falling in love with the place. And then when a position had opened up for teaching, I was kind of a place in my career where I wanted to do something different and kind of give back, all the time that I had spent in the kitchen, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity.
The 16-week program focuses on teaching students like Rafi proper kitchen etiquette while allowing them to have a little fun too.
Because I like to learn to cook. I learn about the ingredients, I've learned about labels, checking expiration dates. I like to cook the onions. That's my favorite part of the thing. Knife skills. You sound like a pro with knife skills.
Alongside Chef LaQuana McGriff, Christian is able to help students translate what they learn in the classroom straight to the kitchen.
We a duo, like Batman and Robin. But we are like perfect together. Like I really enjoy working with Chef Christian, and whatever he teaches in the classroom, I teach in the kitchen, so we go hand in hand.
Chef Christian plays a key role in educating as well as encouraging students and faculty to reach their full potential.
I mean, we love Christian. We think he does an incredible job. He's just relates really well to the students. The students love learning from him. He loves teaching them. And so when you feel that energy on both sides, it makes for a really nice combination.
Together, Chef Christian and Chef LaQuana are changing the lives of so many students. And for any doubters, Rafi has just one thing to say.
So the truth is, I'm a chef. I try to make my parents proud, and all of you guys proud. Everyone proud.
Maddie Bosalik, UMTV.
University of Miami athletes continually prove that their talents reach far past the field. One track star named Aaron Kim is not only a talented athlete, but also a talented artist. The junior from Palo Alto, California has always had a passion for the arts. He says he's been painting for as long as he can remember. Whenever he needs a break from the physical exhaustion that comes from long practices, Aaron takes a step back and channels his creative side.
Everything that I do out of the love and the passion that I have for it. There's not a single thing that I will do that I'm not fully behind.
Kim's dedication to both his commitments and hobbies is truly remarkable. He mainly focuses on painting murals and finds his inspirations from a variety of areas around Miami.
Time for a short break now, but when NewsVision returns, we'll tell you more about why many students are protesting across the nation. Stay with us.
More college campuses across the U.S. are waking up to major pro-Palestinian protests this week, and concerns are rising about student safety, access to classroom, and the possibility of violence. Across the country, growing pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses are leading to suspensions, shifts to online learning, and dozens of arrests. Protesters are demanding an end to the war in Gaza that began when Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7th, killing more than 1,200 people and taking hundreds hostage. Since then, more than 30,000 people in Gaza have died and almost 80,000 have been wounded, according to the Gaza Ministry of Health. The protests began at New York's Columbia University and have now spread to the West Coast.
We're standing here today because we're inspired by the students at Columbia, who we consider to be the heart of the student movement.
The student protesters are asking for their universities to stop doing business with Israel or with any companies that support the ongoing war. The universities have responded with a crackdown on protesters after escalating anti-Semitic incidents have left many students, mostly Jewish, fearing for their safety.
Go back to Poland? Who says that? Go back to Poland.
Well, it's simple. I think it's reached a boiling point in terms of anti-Semitism just over the last few days. Whereas before, I never felt exactly comfortable expressing my Jewish identity and therefore expressing myself on campus. Over the last few days, I've just felt downright unsafe, unwelcome.
Columbia University has canceled all in-person classes on its main campus for the rest of the semester, and other universities are following suit. On Wednesday, House Speaker Mike Johnson visited Columbia University to show his support for the Jewish community.
And today I'm here to proclaim to all those who gnash their teeth and demand to wipe the state of Israel off the map and attack our innocent Jewish students, this simple truth: neither Israel nor these Jewish students on this campus will ever stand alone.
But despite the backlash and the more than 100 arrests for criminal trespassing, pro-Palestinian student supporters have vowed to continue with their protests.
We're here until the demands are met or we get dragged away by police.
And University of Florida students are some of the latest to join the pro-Palestinian protests. They just started protesting today, and the group demands university officials release the school's investment portfolio and cut ties with contractors that contribute to the so-called human rights violations in Gaza. They are also concerned with the treatment of pro-Palestinian voices on campus. Protesters also referenced the attempt by state officials to disband the UF Students for Justice in Palestine group, and ultimately UF leadership did not disband the group. And as some of these universities are cracking down on protesters and amid calls from faculty and administration resignations, concerns have been raised about free speech. I had a chance to talk about these concerns with First Amendment lawyer and UM adjunct professor Stanford Bohr.
Thank you so much for joining us. To get started, I want to talk about the differences between First Amendment rights on private universities versus public universities.
So the First Amendment only applies to the government, and the government includes public universities, but it doesn't include private universities. So the same speech at the University of Florida and the University of Miami has completely different rules. The University of Florida, there's First Amendment rights. At the University of Miami, it's all up to what contract you signed with the university and what the university's rules are.
What's happening specifically at Columbia? You know, they said they had to get rid of their tents and everything by midnight, and then they also were talking about just completely banning the protests. Students are saying that that's a violation of their First Amendment rights, but from what I've heard you say, it isn't.
I don't think they have any First Amendment rights on campus there. When they went to school there, they signed off on a contract with the school, and it says, here are the rules. And the rules may be that you can demonstrate there as long as you do it in a certain manner, or you can't. And the truth is, if the school's rules say you can, it's a contract. That's the determining factor.
Going back to your other point, what do you think the schools should be doing, specifically the private institutions?
I think they all should be doing the same thing. They should make it clear to students, here's where, when, and how you can demonstrate. We have limits. So in a private institution, they have more leeway to limit the speech. So a private institution could say, we're not going to allow you to say hateful things. We're not going to allow you in any school to try to intimidate someone, to physically hit someone or push them around. But we're going to let you talk, and we're going to let you demonstrate silently if you want to do that. It should be the same at every school. It shouldn't be a problem.
The hush money trial against former President Trump is underway in New York City. This week, Trump is appearing in court on 34 felony counts of falsifying business documents related to payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. He's the first ever former president to face criminal charges. The indictment also said Trump potentially silenced claims harmful to his presidency by arranging payments.
They've taken my constitutional right away with a gag order. That's all it is. It's election interference. This whole thing is election interference. So the polls have just come out, and I just got another sample. We're leading every swing state by a lot, and we're leading the nation by a lot.
Trump has been protesting his innocence in the trial and on Truth Social. If he is convicted, he would not be allowed to run for president in 2024.
And while Trump is stuck in a courtroom and cannot campaign, his 2024 presidential opponent, Biden, is in full swing on his campaign trail, the latest in Tampa, Florida, where he attended 2 events on Tuesday. The president focused on the upcoming abortion ban in Florida and other restrictions across the country on access to care for pregnant women. Biden blamed Trump for the ban and used this campaign stop as a step towards turning the swing state blue in the upcoming election.
Well, Gracie, I bet Air Force One is hoping that the weather is nice and clear when they land.
Yeah, I'm sure the president is hoping for some sunny skies. But let's check in with Ryan Haas on what the weather forecast looks like.
Ryan, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's looking absolutely wonderful here in Florida, though we do have some severe weather concerns for portions of the Midwest here, especially in Kansas and portions of Texas here. And that does come with a little bit of a tornado risk. We have a 10% chance of seeing a tornado in portions of Kansas tonight. And we can watch those storms play out on our future cast here. You can see our storms rolling through Kansas and Nebraska, and then they really pop up in Oklahoma as we move into tomorrow morning here. And those storms are just going to continue to shift eastward throughout the day. Now, to wrap things up here as we all go home, we got to start thinking about the hurricane season next season, and things are looking very, very active for us. Colorado State University is predicting upwards of 23 named storms, which is the highest on record that they've ever predicted this early in the season, with 11 hurricanes and 5 major hurricanes. Busy season ahead. Back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. Here in South Florida, there's no denying we see a lot of sun. And the city of Sunny Isles Beach has found a way to feature it in a creative way. Olivia Howell explains.
The city of Sunny Isles Beach opened the door to creativity with their grand opening of the Gateway Artway Monday night. In celebration of the new art gallery, the city hosted a contest to create interest in the art community.
I think this is a really good step forward for the city of Sunny Isles Beach with accepting art into their culture and really kind of laying down a foundation for more future, contests or little activities that get artists involved.
Hundreds of artists from all over Sunny Isles entered the Sunny Spaces art contest to be featured in its newest art exhibit, and each artist had their own unique story behind their painting.
First it was just a plain picture, but then I colored it and it looked like a masterpiece at the end.
I mean, imagine the sun. I would wake up every day and it was another set of colors. And it was just incredible, like through the pandemic and wanting to just really get into my artwork and see like where my heart was leading me and what I was gonna paint. So every single sunset that I saw there was super special to me.
Sunny Isles artists were tasked with creating pieces of art that incorporated the sun. And whether you're 8 or 80, you are more than welcome to let your art shine. 5 artists were selected as the winners of the contest, and Anili Kona was one of them. And this was more than just a contest or paint on a canvas for her. It was a thank you.
My mom and my dad, they came from Venezuela in the 90s, and it was just to give me a future here and just being able to express that through my art and being able to share this is kind of like giving back to them something that they worked so hard for me to even be here and be able to share it.
After being an artist for almost 20 years, Anili uses her art as a way of healing. Her painting shined a new light in her life and gave her a way to show her family just how much she loves them.
So knowing that this place opened up and they gave the opportunity to the artists, and I finally had this incredible motive to paint a piece that was going to be so special. It's not just a sunset for me. It's like showing that I can leave my family's legacy somewhere forever.
Olivia Howell, UMTV.
Coming up, it's a life-changing day for Canes players aspiring to play in the NFL. Sports is next on NewsVision. Stay tuned.
It's really just been a blast the past 3 years, getting to work with these really talented people every week. My Thursdays and Fridays were pretty much, I knew I was always going to go somewhere, that I was always going to have a good time, as well as also, function well and then be happy with how I spend my time. For the youngins out there, just stick with it. At first it can be really daunting. People might seem a little scary, but the more you get to know them, everyone's a person here. Everyone, they actually care about what they're doing, and I think if you are willing to contribute and work hard, then you'll really see the benefits that UMTV will give you in the future.
UMTV means the world to me. It gave me family, it gave me a home, it gave me somewhere I could feel comfortable and somewhere I could be myself. If it wasn't for NewsVision and all the other shows that I've done, I don't think I'd be standing or sitting here right now. I'd probably be at UConn. I've met my greatest friends through this organization, friends I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and people I never want to let go, all because of UMTV.
Welcome to sports. I'm Zach Macer. We start with some breaking news from men's basketball. Miami's Norchad Omier and Wilka Poplar have officially entered the transfer portal. The two players started every game they played this past season and were the two remaining starters on the squad that were on the court for the Miami's Final Four matchup against UConn in 2023. Omier led the Canes in both scoring and rebounding this year with 17 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. Poplar averaged just over 13 points per game while making 38.5% of his three-point attempts. Miami continues to recruit via the transfer portal and will do so now to replace Omier's and Poplar's scoring output. The transfer portal closes May 1st. The next couple of days will be life-changing for some former Canes football players because the NFL draft will kick off tonight. Several former Hurricanes hope to have their names selected by NFL teams to join their squads. Some of the former Miami players include All-American safety Cameron Kinchins and his safety partner James Williams, defensive end Leonard Taylor III as well, and offensive linemen Javion Cohen and Matt Lee. The University of Miami has had at least one former player selected for the past 48 NFL drafts. The 2024 NFL Draft kicks off tonight in Detroit and will last 3 days. The first round starts at 8 p.m. Eastern today. The second and third will be held tomorrow, and Saturday will be a marathon session covering rounds 4 through 7. You can catch the action on NFL Network and ESPN. You can also keep track of the selections on the NFL Plus app. I wish all the guys declared the best of luck in the draft and wishing for tons of success in their NFL careers. That's all for sports. I'm Zach Macer.
Thank you, Zach. It's time for another short break, but still ahead, we will say goodbye to one iconic building on campus. Stay with us.
I transferred to UM, and my sole purpose was to be a part of UMTV. And without UMTV, I don't think I would be doing or know any of the people that I know now. None of us actually know what we're doing. We're just faking it till we make it. And I mean, we've done a pretty good job, a couple of awards. UMTV gave me the opportunity to get experience in a lot of the aspects of the broadcast journalism world, which helped me get internships at so many places.
I mean, I've done a lot throughout my 4 years, throughout my college experience. I've worked at ESPN, I've worked at the Wall Street Journal, I've been on air for TNT, but the best part of my college experience has always been showing up to UMTV every single week. And I think that, if you just continue coming, you'll find your people, and this was where my people are, and I'm happy that I was able to be a part of something like this.
The city of Miami is a hub for people with disabilities because of its ideal weather and infrastructure. Besides this, it is also popular for its many adaptive sports organizations. Sunrise Suns is just one of such teams and has changed the lives of one man in particular. Angela Safone has the story.
23-year-old Ray Filbert seems to be perfectly at ease on the basketball court, but it took some efforts to convince him he belongs here.
I was outside playing on the outside court. Coach kept coming to me for a good 3 months. He would leave me alone. I decided, all right, go ahead, take it. I fell in love with it.
Ray is a member of the Sunrise Suns, a South Florida wheelchair basketball team. Coach Dana Wade and his wife Fran came up with the idea for the team in 2012.
I had a young patient who was newly injured, and he was going through a rough time, and one of the things he wanted to be able to do again was play basketball.
And so the Sunrise Suns was born, with the support of many, including the mayor of the city of Sunrise, Michael J. Ryan.
The mayor came out to watch one day and realized The gym wasn't actually equipped for handicapped people. We couldn't even get them into the doors. So he helped me by starting fundraising. Within, I would say, 6 months, we became an actual team.
Nowadays, the team practices at the Village Multipurpose Center in Sunrise, Florida, every Tuesday and Thursday for 2 hours. I'm here at the Sunrise Suns practice basketball court, where they've given me the unique opportunity to feel just what it's like to experience their game of basketball. And let me tell you, it is not easy. And although what they're doing is very impressive, what's more impressive is what this basketball team has done for each individual. 10 players are on the Sunrise Suns, and each one of them has been affected by this team. For Ray, he scored more than just the role of captain. He scored a second chance at life.
And at the time, I was on the verge of suicide. And once I started playing ball, I fell in love, and I do not want to do suicide no more.
For some players, the team has become a way to escape.
Mentally, if something's been on my mind, it's giving me that space to just relax and let the frustration out.
They push each other, laugh together, and of course, get a little competitive. But they are more than just winners on wheels. They are a family.
Gaining a community of people who just love on you and accept you for who you are.
And for that, each one of them is forever changed. With UMTV, I'm Angela Safone.
Earlier this week, Stanford Residential College here on campus hosted a goodbye celebration at the Clark Recital Center Quad in honor of the historic dorm building before it is knocked down. The dorm has been housing University of Miami students since 1969, and now it's time for it to be torn down to make way for a new dorm called Centennial Village. But before demolition begins, students and faculty got together to celebrate Stanford's legacy and to say farewell to the building.
So tonight we're celebrating 55 years of Stanford. Stanford's being decommissioned, which means torn down in June. So over the last 55 years, we've had over 55,000 residents live with us, over 100 resident faculty, and Dr. Wiley was our first residence coordinator. So we had to celebrate the ending of this legacy that is Stanford with this beautiful event.
Students who attended the event received Stanford Residential College t-shirts. They also got a chance to take photos in front of a Stanford photo op and build plush stuffed animals of Stanford the Lion, who's the residential college's mascot.
I mean, guys, did any of us live in Stanford? I know I didn't.
I did, and I had amazing memories there. Gonna miss that place a lot.
I'm sure. I mean, from what I've heard, I do not think I wanted to live there, but I'm glad you had fun.
I was a transfer, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
But that's it from us for this semester.
But stay right where you are, because the second half of this special hour-long NewsVision continues in just a couple minutes.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, backpack kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending,
No.
honey.
Come on.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We come to this place for magic. We come to Off the Wire to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need that. All of us. That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim. And we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just entertained, but somehow reborn. Together. Dazzling images on a small TV screen. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our heroes feel like the best part of us. And stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here, they are Off the Wire. We make laughter better.
Coming up on NewsVision, we will tell you about what one organization is doing to help elders cope with Parkinson's disease.
You gotta keep moving, otherwise, you start falling apart.
Plus, we will show you how one organization on campus is honoring those affected by sexual violence. And later on, we will introduce you to one South Florida resident who is using her love of swimming in an unconventional way.
Students are actually asking me to be their freedom voice.
These stories and a whole lot more on the program tonight. NewsVision continues right now.
Good evening, and thank you for staying with this week's special hour-long edition of NewsVision. I'm Manny Nakarado.
And I'm Regina Potenza. Studies suggest that about 24 U.S. military veterans commit suicide every day, and the main reason for that is mental health issues they suffer from after leaving the service. Now, one new organization here in South Florida is trying to spread awareness about veteran mental health. Angelo Martinez is the founder and CEO of Barracks Legend Foundation. He's a veteran of the Marine Corps and says he knows the struggles veterans face.
I had decided to kill myself. The moment I did, I was overcome with peace. So nothing in the world mattered. And once my roommate left, I got up to go get his AK-47 and my phone rang. And it was another Marine that I had met. And he invited me out to go shoot a video for his supplement company. And I remember coming back and sitting on this futon, this broken futon that I'd been living in, and saying to myself, I don't have to die anymore.
So, Angelo decided to commit himself to helping others not feel as alone as he did. His Barracks Legend Foundation has been hosting events and helping vets for almost 1 year now.
And it's not just veterans who need help to feel alive and appreciated. In nearby Key Biscayne, another group is fighting back to support those battling Parkinson's. Parkinson's is a disease that destroys your nerves, and patients are often prescribed exercise to minimize the side effects. And now boxing instructor is using his knowledge to make a difference. Daryl Barnes explains.
George Edelman walked into a new class at Key Biscayne Community Center about 2 years ago.
I started out and I thought, what the heck am I getting into, because I had never heard of this.
Then 75-year-old Edelman had just signed up for a boxing class.
When you reach a certain age, you got to keep moving, otherwise, you start falling apart.
This class is a part of a national training program called Rock Steady Boxing. It was created in 2017 to encourage people with Parkinson's to exercise. And here in Key Biscayne, you could say it's working.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is the highlight of the day.
Parkinson's is a disease that attacks your nerves. It typically causes tremors and makes it difficult for the person to move. Parkinson's has no cure, so exercise is often recommended as a way to combat the disease's side effects. But this group seems to enjoy another benefit of the class even more.
While the exercise can have a positive impact on your physical health, the participants told me that it's having fun with others that really heals their soul.
It's not about only the exercise, it's about the family, the energy.
And the people that you meet here, I think they're going to be friends for a long, long time.
It may be called a boxing class on paper, but it's evolved into much more than that. Playing other games, throwing parties, and more.
When you have a problem, like my tremor and all that, you feel like you're alone and you have nobody else. And when you come in here, you realize, oh wow, you know what? There's a lot of people that have this issue, and it helps a lot. And you have fun.
Here's to having fun for years to come. Daryl Barnes, UMTV.
Watching those elderly boxers is truly inspirational. And we have yet another story that would inspire you. Alyssa Beatty introduces us to one Miami dancer who is breaking barriers despite her physical challenges.
On these rides,
Meet 17-year-old Florida native Isabella Diaz, one of millions of aspiring dancers around the world, and yet one of a kind.
Definitely Bella is a special person just because she walks into the door and brights everything around her.
Being a successful dancer is hard for anyone, but Isabella is also dealing with an extra challenge. She was born with only one arm.
It was devastating. They did a bunch of other tests, but they said 1 or every 5,000 cases. It just happened in the early stage where there's a clot of blood that it prevents the arm to grow.
To me, it's not different than anyone else because it's not like I had 2 arms and then something happened to me and I had to work through it, have therapy. No, I could do everything completely normal.
And so she did. When she was only 4 years old, Isabella started dancing and never looked back.
I took a class and ever since then, it was a ballet class, and ever since then, I dance every day and I love it.
So she's always been super, super passionate about it, and as soon as she stepped on any stage, you could feel how much she loved it and how much she really wanted to be there.
But dancing has given her a way to express herself, feel secure, and help her to also be a motivation.
And her physical disability is not the only challenge Isabella has faced. Even though she has won numerous awards for dancing, she has had to deal with prejudice and judgmental peers.
Girls are mean, they will give you stares, or they think that oh, you only place to that.
Teaching her how to answer other kids that they don't know. They see her different and they think that they need to be treated differently. But I always said, God made you something different for a reason.
At the end, neither the physical nor the emotional challenges can stop Isabella from pursuing her dreams.
So many more people that love me than that hate on me. It's just a few girls, 3 girls that, so whatever. But I've never let it get to me, and growing up, now that I'm older, no one has ever told me anything.
The support of the family, friends, has been obviously #1 key in her, the way that she is, the person that she is today.
I would never regret it. I'm never oh, I wish I had 2 arms. I'm never never think that. I know it happened for a reason.
She never wanted to be different. She always wanted to be at everyone the same level as everybody or even better. And she grew faster than anybody else did. She was at the studio every single day, working every single day to make sure that she was the best that she could possibly be.
I think she came here to teach us all, everyone around her, that nothing is impossible.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Alyssa Beatty.
You might have seen a lot of people wearing jeans yesterday, and it was for a cause greater than comfort or style. UM student organization called It's On Us and the University Title IX office celebrated Denim Day. They held a tabling event to educate students on sexual misconduct prevention and intervention. Students who stopped by got to decorate jeans with messages of strength. Denim Day is named after a sexual assault case that involved an Italian woman and her jeans that were used as a reason for her attacker to get a lighter sentence. That resulted in protests around the world and the birth of Denim Day.
Another student organization is promoting sustainability on campus in a fun way. We'll show you how after the short break. Stay with us.
Yeah, UMTV is a family. It's a special place. I think that a lot of people look for something like that in college, and you don't normally get it very naturally. But I think UMTV, NewsVision, Sports Desk really forges a culture and a community, one that you'll always be a part of once you join it. Throw yourself in, get involved, have fun, smile, write, edit, cut, do anything you can and everything that you can, because you have 4 years here, and after those 4 years, every time and every second that you wasted, you're never gonna get back.
UMTV to me means quite literally everything. It's the first organization that I joined when I was a freshman, and I've been so privileged and honored to grow here throughout the past 4 years. It's been such an amazing experience, and I'm really glad that I was able to get to share so much new information, knowledge, and just learn and grow here with all of the people that I've come to love.
Earlier this week, the Richter Library here on campus hosted a lecture about one little critter that is often overlooked, but vital to our ecosystem. Students and faculty came in person and on Zoom to hear the ins and outs of beekeeping. The event was one of the many Earth Day celebrations held on campus. Bees are the #1 pollinator for most of the fruits and veggies we eat, so beekeeping is extremely important. Ray Santamaria, the lead technician at the library, is also an avid beekeeper and shared some of the issues with raising bees.
And here on campus, one student organization is pushing for sustainability in a different way. The university's eco agency challenged all student organizations on campus to promote sustainability projects. And now, the agency is awarding prizes to the organizations that were most successful. Lead reporter Billy Brightman is live out at Lakeside Patio here on campus, where this awards ceremony is taking place. Billy, what's happening there?
Regina, Earth Day may have been earlier in the week, but the University of Miami has been celebrating all month long. Through events like a mangrove planting, an Arbor Day concert, and various energy summits, the university's eco agency has been continuing to push an environmentally friendly campus. Earlier in the month, it encouraged student organizations to participate in the first ever Green Games. By participating in the various activities I listed earlier, creating sustainable artwork, or implementing sustainable projects into their organizations, they could earn points to put them on top. Tonight, they presented those projects and artworks as the final round, and now we know who the winner is. That winner is the Aquarium Club for their project, which showcased underrepresented animals in the Everglades. Now, if you want to participate in your own sustainable competitions, the University of Miami partnered with Get Green to create an app that drives climate action by encouraging the campus community to engage in sustainable behaviors. Live at the Lakeside Patio, Billy Brightman, UMTV.
Thanks, Billy. And President Biden celebrated Earth Day in Virginia, where he unveiled a new stage to his climate policies amidst the upcoming election. The new addition to his climate policy is $7 billion in grant funding for solar power. The Biden administration says this plan will benefit 1 million low-income households, saving more than $350 million in electricity costs. The news comes just days after the administration banned oil drilling in about half of the national petroleum reserves in Alaska. You know, Regina, it's interesting that Biden is campaigning with climate change.
That's an issue that a lot of voters have been asked about to see in the presidential candidates coming up.
And speaking on climate, now it's time to check in with Quinn Davidson on what the weather forecast looks like.
Quinn, what can you tell us?
You guys, it's looking absolutely gorgeous once again here across South Florida this weekend. Although we can't win in every single category, those winds are going to be breezy. Temperatures in the upper 70s across the majority of the southern peninsula of Florida, with 80s in Fort Myers and Fort Lauderdale. And those winds are going to pick up tomorrow. We have 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in Miami in the afternoon hours, 24 in the Keys. And this is going to strengthen even more as we head into Saturday in the 30s in most of the southern portions of Florida, which is going to be very breezy and in your face. Is not something very pleasant if you are heading to the beach. And it is also important with those eastern winds to keep an eye on those rip current risks. I know lifeguards will have flags up just in case. And for summer, I know our semester is ending here in Miami. And here we have the summer temperature outlook, and this is looking for us here across South Florida to be above average for this time of year. And if you have been here, boy, is it hot. Looking at our 7-day forecast, we have temperatures in the 80s and nothing to complain about. The only real rain chance is on Monday and Tuesday.
Thank you, Quinn.
One combat training facility here in South Florida is teaching students how to not only defend themselves against their opponent, but also to keep themselves safe in their everyday lives. Ryan Gleischer has the story.
3, 2, 1. 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, droves of Miami-Dade police officers find themselves at the Miami-Dade Public Safety Training Institute and Research Center. A good chunk of them go to the Hive. This is a combat training facility where they learn and practice jiu-jitsu and other mixed martial arts techniques. It's to safely address potentially chaotic situations out in the field.
We have a good collective environment, like-minded individuals from different skill sets and different backgrounds, and we all come together with the same mission.
A leader in this program is professional mixed martial arts fighter and Miami-Dade police officer Luis Hernandez. His presence has left a strong impact on police officers looking to develop.
Luis is a monster. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's just a tank, but he's extremely willing to help you out in anything. You could stay after and be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And not only Luis, but there's a lot of people. For the most part, most people here are willing to help you out.
Luis is from the 305 and knew since he could remember that he wanted to be a police officer. It wasn't until high school, though, that he knew wrestling was his other passion.
In high school, I was always a little bit overweight, and I played football, and I didn't get moved up to varsity, and I was like, I'm gonna try out for wrestling, and I decided, go try out, So I tried out wrestling, and I fell in love with the sport because you can't blame anybody but yourself, and it's a sport that builds your character.
The now professional MMA fighter has taken his physical fitness to levels others couldn't think of.
I train 7 days a week. I don't have any days off. I do active recovery days, so I don't, take days off. The way I say it is, if I'm training already, my opponent, they might offer him the match. He's gonna be like, yeah, I'll take it. He doesn't know I've been training for the last, I haven't taken a real day off. I would say like a relaxing day off in maybe like 3-4 years, honestly.
Now undefeated through his first 3 professional fights, Luis has his eyes set on something greater, all while staying on as an officer.
I want to make my own journey. Yeah, I would love to, be a UFC champion. That's like my biggest goal, but I don't want to leave this at all. I have a passion for both, but like for me, law enforcement comes first because that's what I always wanted to do as a little kid.
Luis, now an officer for over 4 years, is living the best of both worlds, as a mixed martial artist and as a teacher to fellow officers, showing them how to use MMA as a way to be more safe when out in the field.
And I'm bringing it across.
I just think the more we can grow this program, the more we can get other officers and first responders in general in, we can have a safer environment.
Anthony is another believer in the Hive. He talks about the close-knit community this has fostered among officers like Luis.
It's vital, honestly. There's a ton of benefits to it. First and foremost, it's the camaraderie that you have. You build a good relationship with everybody here. It is a community. I mean, law enforcement in general is a community. But the Hive itself and this program has come a long way.
Ryan Gleischer, UMTV.
And still ahead on NewsVision, there's a living, breathing mermaid here in Miami on a mission to share her love for the seas. Find out more when we return.
UMTV, I know everyone has said this, but honestly, truly does mean everything to me. And I kind of took a leap of faith and followed the call to journalism. And within 2 years, from sophomore year to senior year, I was able to go from an AP to running the station. And I've met some of my best friends, my family here in Florida, and I just can't say enough how much I love UMTV. My advice for the younger members of UMTV is to just do anything you can, get involved, apply for e-board positions, just really try to make an impact. It may not seem like you're doing a lot, or it may seem like you're doing too much, but I promise you everything means so much to the people under you and everyone else in UMTV. So I really would just say do as much as you can, because the only thing people can say to you is no, and that's not hard to process, I promise you.
Hello and welcome to sports. For the final time, I'm Andrew Klein. Last night, the Miami Heat were in Boston for Game 2 of the first-round series against the Celtics. The Heat entered the game 14.5-point underdogs, but as I'm sure you already know, that's right where they want to be. Check it out. So let's set the scene here. The Celtics leading 1-0 at home. Series will shift back to Miami on Saturday. So the Heat needed this one more than ever. Boston got out to a good start. Jaylen Brown alley-oop to Jason Tatum, who throws it down. Big game from those two, 33 for Tatum. But Miami just could not miss from three-point range. One from Caleb Martin, one from Tyler Hero. Jaime Jaquez knocks down a three. 23 made threes for the Heat in this ball game, most in a playoff game in team history. Jaylen Brown gets one to go late in the first half. He had 33 and 8 rebounds to lead the Celtics, but the second half was just Miami. Martin knocks down a corner three. He was great, 21 for Caleb. Now an alley-oop to Bam Adebayo, who throws it down. The Heat love playing as underdogs, and they did so fantastically the other night. Martin again on the layup, just everything going for Miami. Late in the fourth, it's Martin again. Of course, it's Martin again. Last year, he started great. This year, he's playing great, and the Heat pick up a 10-point win. Now, sticking with basketball, the Miami Hurricanes women's team lost some key pieces this offseason. The team lost their head coach, and now they're losing their leading scorer for the second year in a row. That's because Cheyenne Day-Wilson announced yesterday that she would transfer to LSU to play for Kim Mulkey's Tigers. She was one of 3 Hurricanes to announce their portal locations, as forwards Lazarius Spearman and Latasha Lattimore announced their commitments to the University of Tennessee and the University of Virginia, respectively. Miami had already lost guard Jalea Williams to the portal to Louisville, and former 5-star Kyla Oldacre is in the portal as well. Now, almost anywhere you go in Miami, you'll be able to find an ocean view. But have you seen the mermaid? I caught up with Merle Levant to hear her journey from Estonia to the ocean. Every athlete has a story. Some start happy, sad, exciting, or scary. And Merle Levant, or more widely known as the Mermaid, is taking a scary start and turning it into a career worth celebrating.
When I was a child, I had to spend so much time in a hospital bed and really not knowing what was wrong with me. But when the family doctor made the decision that that could help me and to succeed in this life and somehow exist in this life, I knew it right away that I want to go and try swimming.
And swim she did, racking up multiple world records and swimming for the Estonian national team. But for Merle, competitive swimming was not her true calling.
I realized that I might be not Olympic gold medalist, but I can do something for sport. And definitely, it took me a while to figure out how to raise awareness. But all of a sudden, when I started training more and more in open water, I realized that oceans are actually asking me to be their freedom voice.
She serves a greater purpose, if you will, because there's people who stay more so behind the scenes, like I would prefer to do most times, and then there is people who need to be front center, and I think Merle does a really good job of being that front center individual.
Being an athlete certainly comes with its downsides, but Merle powered through the negative energy to change her life for the better.
Well, when I was an athlete, we were constantly criticized because of body image, and when I came here, and I always have been dreaming about living a mermaid life, free from everything and swim around, and it hit me on mostly when the social media came around, that girls in social media compare their bodies to each other.
As her conservation career took off, Merle became an ocean conservator, advocate, and friend. She created the Mermaid as a way to combat negative body image and spread her conservation efforts.
It really was hurtful to see, because I had been there. I've criticized myself. I've gone to kind of even the training camps not eating. And I realized that we can't have that. I mean, mermaids come with different shape and sizes, different skin color, different hair color, eye color. So I decided to start this mermaid movement against the social media, basically.
I think one of her biggest assets as it is to the conservatorship is her just absolute, will tell you, will talk to you, wants to get your attention, and will share with you to a point where it's like you want to listen and you want to engage.
Lavon's passion for water awareness combined with her conservation efforts have definitely made her stand out in a crowd of fish. That's all for sports. I'm Andrew Klein.
Thank you, Andrew. And now it's time for another short break, but still ahead, we'll introduce you to one group of athletes who are stepping off the court to give back. NewsVision will be right back.
We all care about our communities and try to make them a better place, but some people really go above and beyond the role of good friend or good neighbor. This is the second edition of Hometown Heroes, a special UMTV presentation that highlights the stories of extraordinary people that make the world a better place.
I kind of feel like I found my purpose now.
Because at the end of the day, we're all working for one united mission.
The give back concept is very important to me.
Watch it live tonight at 7:30 on UMTV Live on YouTube.
Student athletes at the University of Miami typically get recognized for their achievements on and off the court, but these athletes are also making a big difference out in the community. Here once again is sports reporter Andrew Klein with the story.
The U has become synonymous with college athletics on several levels. For many college athletes here in Coral Gables, being a Miami Hurricane is so much more than just playing a sport.
What we have here at the U makes that even more special because there's so many people who share that passion and just want it.
And really we focus on the athlete as a whole, right? So personal development, career development, leadership development, community service, campus engagement, all of those pieces to help build outside of sports and outside of academic.
There is no community service requirement for athletes at UM, but Hurricanes are always encouraged to get involved, and they do.
I think going back to when I was younger, I always realized that not everybody would have the same opportunities that I always had, and to be able to touch people who, for me, it's a great feeling. But
it just means a lot to me because growing up, we didn't really have much all the time. So, it was people that gave back to us, and I had a lot of older guys in my life that always gave back and made sure that I was straight.
The Hurricanes athletic program usually has a high percentage of their athletes participate in community service activities. And in 2023, 100% of Miami athletes participated in at least one event, garnering a second-place finish in the annual NCAA Community Service Challenge.
Growing up, I loved to do things in the community. A lot of it came through sports, but I'd say probably when I got to high school is when I started to do a little bit more in terms of service within the community.
I think it shows, again, that culture of giving we've created, but also the type of people that are Miami Hurricanes.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Andrew Klein.
Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure working with you all for the last 3 years. And earlier this month, you actually won a college television award. What a great way to end it off.
And it couldn't happen without the upperclassmen. I want to thank all of you guys for helping the next generation of UMTV students work here and be successful. So thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Good luck in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well,
you're welcome.
It's been an incredible. It's been a good run here. A good 4 years. I had the fortunate time enough to be able to EP and anchor this show, and it was great. Being able to get the CTA was just another icing on the cake. But I think the most important part was being able to work with you guys, friends, family. This is our home, and I'm gonna miss it here.
All right, we still got a couple more seconds. Keep going, Harvey.
Oh,
we still got time. Come on.
Okay, I love it here so much. It's so good.
Me and Harvey have been here 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
And then everyone else kind of accumulated along the way.
Oh, so
I remember when you came in. I remember when you came in.
Yeah, we lived on the same hall freshman year.
Yeah, like half the people on this desk at least once.
Thank you guys again for 4 years of great time at UMTV. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today.
Thank you for joining us on this semester on NewsVision. We'll be back next fall. Have a great night.
Yeah!
Wait, no, we won't be back.
Oh, no!
We won't be.